Nomad list is great. I would love for you to talk about that. But one sort of way to talk about it is through you building hood maps.
Yeah.
So you did an awesome thing, which is document yourself building the thing and doing so in just a handful of days, like 3, 4, 5 days. So people should definitely check out the video in the blog post. Can you explain what hood maps is and what this whole this process was?
So I was traveling and I was still trying to find like problems, right? And I would discover that like everybody's experience of a city is different because they stay in different areas.
Yeah.
So I'm from Amsterdam, and when I grew up in Amsterdam, or didn't grow up, but I lived there in university, I knew that the center is like in Europe, the centers are always tourist areas. So they're super busy. They're not very authentic. They're not really Dutch culture. It's Amsterdam tourist culture, you know? So when people would travel to Amsterdam, I would say, don't go to the center, go to, southeast of the center, the Jordaan or the Pijp or something, more hipster areas, like a little bit more authentic culture of Amsterdam. That's where I would live, and where I would go. And I thought this could be like an app where you can have like a Google Maps and you put colors over it. You have like areas that are like color coded, like red is tourist, green is rich, green money, yellow is hipster. And you can figure out where you need to go in the city when you travel. Because I was traveling a lot, I wanted to go to the cool spots.
So just use color.
Color, yeah. And I would use a canvas. So I thought, okay, what do I need? I need to...
Did you know that you would be using a canvas?
No, I didn't know it was possible because I didn't know.
So, I mean, this is the cool thing. People should really check it out.
This is how it started.
Because like you honestly capture so beautifully the humbling aspects, the embarrassing aspects of like not knowing what to do. It's like, how do I do this? And you like document yourself. Yeah, you're right, dude. I feel embarrassed about myself.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's called being alive. Nice. So you're like, you don't know anything about. So Canvas is a way. It's HTML. Yeah, it's HTML5 thing that allows you to draw shapes.
Yeah, draw images. Just draw pixels essentially. So
yeah.
And that was special back then because before you could only have like elements, right? So you want to draw a pixel, use a canvas. And I knew I needed to draw pixels because I need to draw these colors. Mm-hmm. And I thought like, okay, I'll get like a Google Maps iframe embed, and then I'll put a div on top of it with the colors, and I'll do like opacity 50, so it kind of shows. So I did that with Canvas, and then I started drawing. And then I thought like, obviously other people need to edit this because I cannot draw all these things myself. So I crowdsourced it again, and you would draw on the map, and then it would send the pixel data to the server. It would put it in the database, and then I would have a robot running like a cron job, mm-hmm. which every week would calculate, or every day would calculate like, okay, so Amsterdam Center, there's like 6 people say it's tourist, this part of the center, but 2 people say it's like hipster. Okay, so the tourist part wins, right? It's just an array. So find the most common value in a little pixel area on a map. So if most people say it's tourist, and it becomes red. Mm-hmm. And I would do that for, all the GPS corners in the world.
Can you just clarify, do you have to be, as a human that's contributing to this, do you have to be in that location to make the label? Or
no, people just type in cities and go berserk and start drawing everywhere.
Would they draw shapes or would they draw pixels?
Man, they drew like crazy stuff. Like offensive symbols, I cannot mention. They would draw penises.
I mean, that's obviously a guy
I would
thing.
do the same thing, draw penises.
That's the first thing. When I show up to Mars and there's no cameras, I'm drawing a penis on the sand.
Man, I did it in the snow, But the penises did not become a problem because I knew that not everybody would draw a penis and not in the same place. Mm-hmm. So most people would use it fairly. So just if I had enough crowdsourced data, so you have all these pixels on top of it. It's like a layer of pixels. Yep. And then you choose the most common pixel. So yeah, it's just like a poll, but in visual format. And it worked. And within a week, I had enough data. And there was like cities that did really well, like Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. A lot of people started using it. Like most data is in Los Angeles.
Because Los Angeles has defined neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And not just in terms of the official labels, but like what they're known for.
Yeah.
What are did you provide the categories that they were allowed to use as labels?
The colors, yeah.
As colors?
So it's just like, I think you can see there's like hipster, tourist, rich, business. So there's always a business area, right? And then there's a residential. Residential is gray. So I thought those were the most common things in the city, kind of.
And a little bit memey, like it's almost fun to label it.
Yeah, right? I mean, obviously it's simplified, but you need to simplify this stuff. You don't want to have too many categories. Mm-hmm. And it's essentially just like using a paintbrush where you select the color in the bottom, you select the category, and you start drawing. There's no instruction, there's no manual. And then I also added tagging, so people could like write something on a specific location. So don't go here, or like here's like nice cafes and stuff. And man, the memes that came from that, and I also added upvoting, so that the tags could be upvoted. So the memes that came from that is like amazing. Like people in Los Angeles would write crazy stuff. It would go viral in all these cities. You can allow your location, and it will probably send you to Austin.
Okay, so we're looking. Oh boy, drunk hipsters.
Air bro and bros,
bros, hipster girls who do cocaine.
I saw a guy in a fish costume get beaten up here.
Yep, that seems also accurate.
Overpriced and underwhelming.
Let me see. Let me make sure this is accurate. Let's see. 36th. For people who know Austin, know that that's important to label. 6th Street is famous in Austin. Dirty 6 drunk frat boys, accurate. Drunk frat bros continued on 6th, very well known. West 6th drunk douche bros.
They go from frat to douche.
I mean, it's very accurate so far.
Really?
They only let hot people live here. That's. I think that might be accurate.
It's like the district. Exercise freaks on the river. Yeah, that's true.
Dog runners, accurate. Yeah. Saw a guy in a fish costume get beat up here.
I want to know that story. Like,
so that's all user contributed.
Yeah, and that's like stuff I couldn't come up with it because I don't know Austin. I don't know the memes here and the subcultures.
And then me as a user can upvote or downvote this. So this is completely crowdsourced.
That's like because of Reddit, you know, upvote, downvote. Took it from there.
And that's really, really, really powerful. Single people with dogs, accurate. At which point did it go from colors to the actually showing the text?
I think I added the text like a week after, and so here's like the pixels.
So that's really cool. The pixels. How do you go from that? That's a huge amount of data. So there's we're now looking at an image where it's just a sea of pixels that call it different colors in a city. So how do you combine that to be a thing that actually makes some sense?
I think here the problem was that you have this data, but it's like it's not locked to one location.
Yeah.
So I had to normalize it. So when you draw on a map, it will show you the specific pixel location, and you can convert the pixel location to a GPS coordinate, right? Like latitude, longitude. But the number will have a lot of commas or a lot of decimals, right? Because it's very specific. Like it's like this specific part of the table. So what you want to do is you want to take that pixel and you want to normalize it by removing like decimals, which I discovered, so that you're talking about this neighborhood, this street, right? So that's what I did. I just took the decimals off and then I saved it like this. And then it starts going to like a grid. And then you have like a grid of data. You get like a pixel map kind of.
And then you said it looks kind of ugly. So then you smooth it.
Yeah, I started adding blurring and stuff. I think now it's not smooth again because I liked it better. People like the pixel look kind of. Yeah, a lot of people use it and it keeps going viral. And every time my maps bill, like Mapbox, I had to stop using. I first used Google Maps, it went viral, and Google Maps it was out of credits. So I had to. It's so funny. During when I launched it, went viral. Google Maps, the map didn't load anymore. It says over the limit. You need to contact enterprise sales, and I'm like, but I need now like a map. So and I don't want to contact enterprise sales. I don't want to go on a call schedule with some calendar. So I switched to Mapbox, and then had Mapbox for years, and then it went viral and I had a bill of $20,000. Was like last year. So they helped me with the bill. They said, you can pay less. And then I now switched to like an open source kind of map platform. So it's a very expensive product and it never made any money, but it's very fun, but it's very expensive.
What do you learn from that? So like from that experience, because when you leverage somebody else's sort of through the API.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think a map hosting service should cost this much, but I could host it myself, but that would be, I don't know how to do that, but I could do that.
Yeah, it's super complicated.
I think that the thing is more about like, you can't make money with this project. I tried to do many things to make money with it and it hasn't worked.
You talked about like possibly doing advertisements on it or somehow, or people sponsoring it. Yeah. Well, it's really surprising to me that people don't want to advertise on it.
I think map apps are very hard to like monetize. Like Google Maps also doesn't really make money. Like sometimes you see these ads, but I don't think there's a lot of money there. You could put like a banner ad, but it's kind of ugly. And the project is kind of like, it's kind of cool. So it's kind of fun to like subsidize it. And it's kind of a little bit part of Nomad List. Like I put it on Nomad List in the cities as well. But I also realized like you don't need to monetize everything. Like some projects are just cool. And it's like, it's cool to have hood maps exist. I want this to exist, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you've created that I'm just glad exists in this world. That's true. And it's a whole nother puzzle. And I'm surprised to figure out how to make money off of it. I'm surprised maps don't make money, but you're right. It's hard. It's hard to make money because there's a lot of compute required to actually bring it to life.
And also, where do you put the ad, right? Like if you have a website, you can put like an ad box or you can do like a product placement or something. But you're talking about a map app where 90% of the interface is a map. So what are you going to do? You're going to like it's hard to figure out where is this.
Yeah. And people don't want to pay for it.
No, exactly. Because if you make people pay for it, you lose 99% of the user base and you lose the crowdsourced data. So it's not fun anymore. It stops being accurate, right? So you they pay for it by crowdsourcing the data, but then, it's fine. It doesn't make money, but it's cool.
But that said, Nomad List makes money.
Yeah.
So what was the story behind Nomad List?
So Nomad List started because I was in Chiang Mai in Thailand, which is now like the second city here. And I was, working on my laptop. I met like other nomads there and I was like, okay, this seems like a cool thing to do. Like work on your laptop in a different country, kind of travel around. But back then the internet everywhere was very slow. So the internet was fast in, for example, Holland or United States. But in a lot of parts in South America or Asia, it was very slow, like 0.5 megabits. So you couldn't watch a YouTube video. Thailand weirdly had like quite fast internet. But I wanted to find like other cities where I could go to like work on my laptop, whatever, and travel. But we needed like fast internet. So I was like, let's, crowdsource this information with a spreadsheet. And I also needed to know the cost of living because I didn't have a lot of money. I had $500 a month. So I had to find a place where like the rent was like, $200 per month or something, where I had, some money that I could actually rent something. And there was Nomad List, and it still runs. I think it's now almost 10 years.
So just to describe how it works, like I'm looking at Chiang Mai here. There's a total score. It's ranked number 2.
Yeah, that's like a Nomad score.
4.82, liked by members. But it's looking at the internet. In this case, it's fast, fun, temperature, humidity, air quality, safety, food safety, crime, racism, or lack of crime, lack of racism, educational level, power grid, vulnerability to climate change, income level.
It's a little much,
English speed. It's awesome. It's awesome. Walkability.
Okay, keep adding stuff.
Because for certain groups of people, certain things really matter. And this is really cool.
Yeah.
Happiness. I'd love to ask you about that. Nightlife, free Wi-Fi, AC, female friendly, freedom of speech.
Yeah, not so good in Thailand,
Values derived from national statistics, I like how that one has.
I need to do that because the data sets are usually national. They're not on city level, right? Yes. So I don't know about the freedom of speech between Bangkok or Chiang Mai. I know them in Thailand.
I mean, this is really fascinating. So this is for city.
Yeah.
It's basically rating all the different things that matter to you in internet. And this is all crowdsourced.
Well, so it started crowdsourced, but then I realized that you can download more accurate data sets from like public source, like World Bank. They have a lot of public data sets, United Nations, and you can download a lot of data there, which you can, freely use. Like I started getting problems with crowdsourced data where, for example, people from India, they really love India and they would submit the best scores for everything in India. And not just like one person, but like a lot of people, they would love to pump India. And I'm like, I love India too, but that's not valid data. So you started getting discrepancies in the data between people, where people were from and stuff. So I started switching to data sets and now it's mostly data sets. But one thing that's still crowdsourced is, so people add where they are, they add their travels to their profile and I use that data to see which places are upcoming and which places are popular now. So about half the ranking you see here is based on actual digital nomads who are there. You can click on a city, you can click on people, and you can see the people, the users that are actually there. And it's like 30,000 or 40,000 members. So these people are in Austin now, and
1,800 remote workers in Austin now, of which 8+ members checked in. Members who will be here soon. And go.
Yeah, so we have meetups. So people organize their own meetups, and we have about, I think like 30 per month. So it's like 1 meetup a day. And I don't do anything. They organize it themselves. So it's a whole black box. It just runs and I don't do a lot on it. It pulls data from everywhere and it just works.
Cons of Austin is too expensive, very sweaty and humid. Now difficult to make friends.
Difficult to make friends. Interesting, right? I didn't know that.
Difficult to make
In
friends.
Austin.
I mean, but this all crowds, but mostly it's pros.
Yeah, Austin's
pretty
very
safe,
good.
fast internet.
I don't understand why it says not safe for women. To check the data set. It feels safe. The problem with a lot of places like United States is that it depends per area, right? So if you get like city level data or nation level data, it's like Brazil is the worst because the range in like safe and wealthy and not safe is like huge. So you can't say many things about Brazil.
Follow 2. Learn more.